Hello and welcome to my channel, I Went to Lose Gaming. So I was gonna go to sleep because it is now 11:43 p.m. but I saw some crazy stuff happening. There's basically another PR disaster for Mihoyo. Shortly after the anniversary debacle, now we have, I guess, this Twitch event that's people are getting pretty upset about. So first, before I kind of give my full opinion on this and breakdown, I really want to emphasize to not harass the streamers that ended up accepting this. And I've been hearing people say that the streamers that accepted this are scumbags, which to me is absolutely outrageous to insinuate and to say. And that to me is unacceptable. And I guess, we'll do some mining in game because I don't know what else to do right now. The thing about the way that Mihoyo tends to do these types of events, they plan them out way in advance, and they probably reached out to the people that are participating in this way before, I guess, the public perception and PR and everything. And there's no way for the individual smaller streamers, even the larger ones, to predict, this type of PR fallout. I would find it really upsetting to see the community harass the smaller individuals that ended up participating in this, because from their perspective, this looked like a good opportunity. Mihoyo's reaching out to them, being like, hey, you want to participate in this event? So again, please do not harass them, right? They are taking part in an event that they thought would be fun and also good for their growth and good for their business and everything, right? And good for their streaming career. With that out of the way, let's also clear up some misconceptions about the KFC Glider. A lot of people were saying, they expected it to be free and all this stuff. Mihoyo tends to monetize everything, and also for the CN, the Chinese community, these wings were not free. And just imagine for a second the outrage in China if, Global ended up getting these wings for free when everyone in China had to pay $10 or $20 or whatever it was for the KFC combo that they had to purchase in order to get these wings. And of course, China is still Mihoyo's main player base and main customer base, so that was certainly not an option for them. Now let's talk about the way they ended up monetizing it. And we can do that by taking a look at this. You have to give 2 gifted subs to one of the streamers that will end up being in this list of qualified streamers that ended up accepting this event. So once you do that, not only do you give them, I guess, $5 in the end, because each sub is $5, so you give them $10, but Twitch takes 50%, so they get $5. Then you will get a code to redeem the wings. So with that out of the way, I believe that the intentions here were actually extremely good, right? They wanted to, I guess, support some smaller as well as some... Okay, had to put away the toy that my cat likes to play when I like to make videos. But anyway, I will bring the toy back out once I'm done with this. It's just a little too distracting right now. Mihoyo definitely came at this with the right intentions. This is a great opportunity for the streamers, especially prior to the unexpected PR fallout that we're going through. They are not putting this money in their own pockets, but instead they are giving it back to the content creator community. So now let's actually talk about kind of the problems with this approach. Okay, so before we actually jump into that, let's talk about how they ended up deciding who would and wouldn't be in this event. And I believe it is actually based on the content creators program, the Genshin Impact content creators program. So, I'm part of that program because the content creators in that content creator program, signed NDAs and stuff, and, they're already kind of familiar with this type of process and stuff like that. It's very likely that everyone that's participating in this Twitch event is a Genshin Impact content creator part of that program. Now, I could be wrong about that, right? I could be completely wrong about that, but, that's just my current hypothesis. And the problem with that is that there are a lot of even smaller content creators that do have a lot of promise that were not accepted into the content creator program. What this means is that for the content creators that were excluded from this, it may even hurt their viewership Whether it's in the short term or even the long term, right? That's impossible to predict right now, but definitely in the short term for when this thing is going on. And that's because a lot of people will obviously go to the content creators that are on that list. And therefore the content creators that are not on that list are going to be hurt, you know, in viewership and stuff significantly. With that out of the way, you know, obviously this is going to be great for a lot of these smaller streamers that ended up accepting this, but this will absolutely disproportionately further boost up the larger content creators that, you know, did end up accepting this. And as of right now, I don't personally know any large content creator that accepted this. Obviously, I'm not on Twitch, right? So this opportunity wasn't even presented to me. I had no idea this was even coming. Also, for a lot of content creators that are very large, right, that may have gotten offered this, they're probably going to decline because supposedly, now, again, I have not seen the contract, but the rumors say that the contract said that you have to stream Genshin Impact exclusively and cannot take any sponsorships, right? So, you know, I do YouTube stuff and, you know, I accept sponsorships on my channel. You guys have seen them, Raid Shadow Legends. This video is not sponsored by them, by the way. You know, those sponsors are often planned weeks in advance, if not even a month in advance. So it could put content creators in a difficult spot in terms of accepting a deal like this with Mihoyo. So, you know, a lot of them, whether it's due to those types of financial reasons or even due to other contractual obligations, like for example, some content creators exclusively sign on to specific, I guess they're content sponsoring companies. I don't really know what to call them, but yeah. So me, I have not signed exclusivity with any of them, and you know, this way I have multiple companies reaching out to me being like, hey, do you want to sponsor, you know, this game or this software or whatever. And if you guys watch MTash's video, which I do recommend, he adds a lot of insight to this. He says, you know, content creators make thousands of dollars per sponsorship. So for some of them, this financial, you know, kind of gamble in a way didn't really make sense for them. And that makes sense as well, right? I agree from that perspective. Not only are there, you know, timeline issues with potential sponsors clashing, but there's also the fact that you cannot accept any sponsors because Mihoyo wanted exclusivity for you to stream or work with Genshin Impact for 2 or 3 weeks. It would definitely cost, you know, those streamers thousands of dollars if they had sponsorships lined up. But anyway, that point aside, it's definitely true what MTash said about, you know, there being a lot of opportunity costs. But that point aside, I think financially this is going to be huge for a lot of content creators, especially the larger ones on that list, the ones with name recognition, or the ones that Mihoyo may favor if they're at the top of the list or if they're at the bottom of the list, right? We don't know what this list is going to look like. We don't know who's participating in this list, but there's going to be, I would lowball to say 1 million people that want those wings, that will pay $10 to get those wings. That money has to go somewhere, right? That money has to go somewhere to those streamers. So some people are going to cash out big on this, and good for them, you know, in my opinion, good for them. And also my opinion, this event for those content creators is a win-win situation for them, minus, I guess, the negative backlash that this PR, you know, perception has created. People are already calling them scumbags and grifters and whatever, right? And I don't know, to me that's taking it too far, right? You know, you gotta live, you gotta put food on the table, you gotta make money, right? So if you stream and you don't get any income, that's gonna be really rough on you financially. Unless like you already have a ton of money or you have a full daytime job like I do, right? Genshin Impact is, I guess, you know, my hobby passion. It's my side thing. With all that being said, right, I can see that this can damage these smaller content creators. Now, I don't fully understand how the Twitch algorithm works, as well as, for example, the YouTube algorithm, and even the YouTube algorithm, I don't really understand how it works that well. But the Twitch one, I'm assuming that smaller content creators that were not in this program are going to be pushed even further down the list in comparison to the ones that did get on this list that will see some good growth. And yeah, I can see this being very bad for them and also very stressful time for them, because you know, you're going to see a lot of the other smaller mid-sized content creators that were accepted just have this huge spike in growth, whereas you as an even smaller content creator, or even if you're not necessarily smaller, but you may fall in rank in comparison to the people that were on this list. So now, in terms of my opinion on this, I actually think that in terms of paying $10 for, supporting a smaller streamer that you may or may not know, or may not like, or may not like, whatever, right? Versus spending $10 or $20 at KFC to get the wings, this is a matter of a personal preference when it comes to, would you rather spend $10 on a Twitch sub to support a small streamer, or would you rather pay $20 for a bucket of chicken? Me personally, I like KFC a lot, but I also like supporting other content creators, so either way, to me, this is fine either way, right? Those $20 to KFC, that just goes straight into the Colonel's pockets. You're literally giving the money to the man. But this $10 really does go a really long way to supporting these smaller content creators. But again, like I said, I feel really bad for those Genshin Impact streamers on Twitch that did not get into this event. Let me know what you guys think again. That's my stance on it. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Want to Lose, signing out.